Multiple rounds of both severe weather and snow are expected across many areas of the United States and over the coming days, and we have to watch all of these areas closely because little changes that we're seeing every day are meaning big differences when it comes to impacts. So we're going to break all of it down in this evening's video. So if you consider this type of content helpful and you appreciate it, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. And of course, as always, leave a comment down below where you are watching from, and I would greatly appreciate it. So to get started here, we're going to look at what's going on right now, as we do have some severe weather ongoing right now, or what could be severe weather at pretty much any given time. So all of these areas of orange and yellow that you see in North Carolina right here are thunderstorms. That's really what they are on a fundamental basis. Now, are these really severe? Well, not necessarily. This is our day one outlook right here. So they're kind of getting towards the end of it. They're kind of leaving the area, but they are here, and there's something we need to watch over the next couple of hours. So we're going to break this down for you right now. So let's get into it here. I have added this feature above my head here. The time should be pulled up, so you can see that on a more zoomed in level. So let's take a look at this, see how it's going to evolve. This is right about now, and let's just see where these storms go. The storms in North Carolina specifically seem to just kind of roll along the shore, seem to parallel the shore and roll offshore. They could be producing sporadic damaging wind gusts at pretty much any given time, and obviously this is getting towards this evening and into the overnight. But thunderstorms will persist for the next couple of hours across this area and could bring potential for damaging winds and some isolated hail. No tornado risk is really expected with this, although it's never out of the question completely. So moving on here, let's look at some of these outlooks in more detail. We've already shown you this one. I'm not going to go over that anymore. Tomorrow, we do have a more high criteria outlook here with a level 1 out of 5 marginal risk from Alabama all the way over to the Arklatex here. And inside of that, we do have a level 2 out of 5 slight risk that goes from Arkansas and Louisiana through central Mississippi and into western and central Alabama here. We can break this down by type. So far, we have a 2% risk of a tornado along the axis of the Mississippi River right here, all the way over the Arklatex and all the way down kind of to western areas of Alabama. Just a 2% risk as of now. Our wind threat is just a 5% risk of damaging winds in this area. Pretty much the same area, although it does get over towards Georgia a little bit. And then our hail threat is, again, what's driving this? We've seen a lot of hail. Hail has been a predominant type. And so this is the full size of the outlook here. And these black dotted lines that you see here mean that this hail could reach up to 2 inches in diameter. So it could be a little bit larger than average and be a little bit more damaging. But this is what we got going on for tomorrow as of right now. So let's change this back. And we're going to go to day 3. This is a much bigger deal, much higher criteria here. So this goes all the way from the U.S.-Mexico border down here, all the way up to the lower Great Lakes regions here. So pretty similar outlook to what we just saw the other day when it comes to where these areas are. So a very large marginal risk goes all the way from the border, all the way up to southern Michigan and Wisconsin here, even into Ohio. Inside of that, we have a level 2 out of 5 slight risk. Goes from southern Michigan, far southern areas of Wisconsin, all the way down to the border. Includes a large portion of Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, most of Illinois, and a lot of Indiana as well as a few counties in Iowa. And then inside of this, where the highest potential is for severe weather, in central and northern Illinois, over to a few counties in Iowa and northern Missouri, we have a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk in this area. As of right now, all we know are the percentages. But one thing that we can figure out now is where the most significant severe weather could be. So you see 2 black dotted line regions here. One of them is to the south, and we don't know what this would be for yet. Likely damaging winds and hail. If I had to guess, that's what this black hashing means. This will not be as much for tornadoes. However, up in this area right here, in this red, we'll have potential for all hazards as the way I see it right now. And we'll break this down more by type here as we get closer. Probably by tomorrow, I'll show you guys a higher resolution look. I don't have it pulled up now. We've seen some swings with model guidance. I don't want to get overly caught up in that. So also moving past this, I have to change it to here. We do have a day 4 outlook. So this is a slight risk, huge slight risk. Goes from Louisiana all the way up to Pennsylvania here. And so around this, there will be a level 1 out of 5 marginal risk. Where exactly it'll go, it's hard to tell. I mean, it could go out here. and it could be much smaller than this. We don't really know. As of right now, this is the only information we know about it. Day 5 does not have a risk, and then onward, they don't have a risk either. It does look like we do have some sort of pattern change, and we'll discuss that here in a minute. So moving on here, I want to show you guys some of our model guidance here. So again, time is above my head, and we're going to get started. So this is the GFS model right tomorrow morning, pretty much, as of actually technically right now. So we're just going to take this through the entire run and dissect it a little bit. You'll see a few different things, one of which are these dotted blue lines. Those indicate colder air aloft, several miles above your head. And when you see those start to move into an area, it brings the potential for that precipitation to fall in some sort of frozen fashion, pretty much. So let's get going here. You'll see multiple areas of snow and both rain develop. I mean, you see snow up to the north, rain to the south. This could be severe weather. Again, Monday and Tuesday both have that severe threat, so they are covered here. But look at what happens on this Tuesday into Wednesday threat here. Wednesday, again, we also do have that large slight risk. Goes from Louisiana up to Pennsylvania here. And there is absolutely a snow side to this that I'm watching closely, as well as a corridor of freezing rain and sleet. We have to watch for an uptick in potential and all that good stuff. And you can see that these blue lines are kind of dropping to the south. That's indicating to me that colder air is spilling in behind this and could be ushering in some sort of pattern change that we can actually feel here at the surface. But this is, this is getting out to the 11th or so. Pretty big snow event for areas of southern Canada and even northern New England here, with severe weather riding down to the south all the way through maybe even Thursday. This is Thursday afternoon right here, and in the deep south, all of this could be severe weather. But you can see that these blue lines dropping down are indicating that potential for cold air pretty far south into Kentucky and Virginia here, with snow working its way in up to the north. So let's keep going here. And you'll start to see there are areas of snow that kind of break containment, if you will, and drop further south than you would expect. I think that the kind of mid-Atlantic, northern mid-Atlantic, Midwest, and then the northern and central plains, kind of between where you define those regions, will be a big hot spot for snow, as will the Northeast. And you'll see that, just a lot of snow in the area in general. But I mean, this is getting out into the 16th, big expansive snow here. I mean, this is getting snowed, guys, down into the Oklahoma and Texas panhandles. Do I buy that? Not really, not necessarily, but at the same time, our pattern will support it. We have to watch for that kind of surprising nature of this. But I mean, this is snow in Kentucky, West Virginia here, and where does it go afterwards? Well, I mean, look at Arkansas and Missouri here. In the Boot Heel of Missouri, all the way over to Kentucky, it's snowing heavily. This is 204 hours out, so this is on the fringes of what we consider no man's land, kind of out there in a range you don't like to get overly detailed in. But I'm just showing this to you because we have potential for it. That's what weather is all about. But you can see this rolls up into the northeast. It gets freezing rain to central North Carolina. It's more snow works in behind it. And I mean, look at this right here. This is the March the 19th. Early in the morning, March the 19th, we have snow falling in North Carolina and Virginia here. I mean, it's possible. I'm not going to say it's impossible yet. It is kind of hard to believe as of right now. But it might change. I expect things to change with this. And it really does. I mean, you look at this last frame. I think it tells the story pretty well. You have an expansive ridge. All of this red means warm air out west. And all this blue means cold air in the east. So a big pattern flip from what we've been seeing right now. So how about the good old Euro? Well, let's start it off now. It's starting off right now. So let's get into tomorrow morning and through the day. So this is getting into Monday and Tuesday. Shows all of this orange and green and yellow for that severe weather threat. Again, we'll dissect that further in tomorrow's video. But, I mean, this is getting to the 10th and the 11th. Look at that snow on the back side, in the northern side here. Very heavy snow in Ontario and Quebec here. Freezing rain to the south. Corridor of snow. Some sort of severe weather side of this as well. Maybe move that on. There's severe weather all the way down to the Gulf Coast, it looks like. And we get into the 12th, and we get into the 13th. And the Euro is very consistent and aggressive with these clippers that dive in after. Very heavy snow for some areas, which could just mean very high snowfall totals through the next couple of weeks. And we'll have to watch for that. But, I mean, man, just a lot of snow. Look at that system right there. This is on the March the 15th, right in the middle of the afternoon. And there's very heavy, expansive snow over the kind of central Great Lakes regions all the way into the northeast, the northern plains here, northern high plains. I mean, it's everywhere. A lot of snow with that. Cold air dropping down. I mean, look at this right here. March the 16th in the afternoon, we have snow in southern Missouri. I mean, it's not out of the question, not impossible. I mean, the Euro even it drops snow all the way down to North Carolina here with this very aggressive clipper. This is getting into the 18th. I mean, it's very possible we see that. I would not be surprised. I would be surprised in the sense that it's not common, but our pattern will support this. So we have to watch. I mean, look at the Northeast. There's a lot of areas, a lot of areas. This is getting out towards the end of the run, so it's a little bit different of a look at the end of the run than say the GFS is, and that's typical. At the end of these model runs, agreement is very hard to come by. So let's move on here. And I'm going to show you a few things. One of which is going to be our instability. So this is the national blend of models here, just to get an idea of where our instability, our thermodynamics will set up for this severe weather threat. So again, time should be above my head. And this is for tomorrow afternoon. All of this yellow specifically down here in Texas and Louisiana will absolutely support a severe threat. This is even technically this showing me that even in southern Missouri and Arkansas, I mean all the way over to the Gulf Coast states here, we could see some sort of severe weather threat. And you can see as that kind of it gets into the evening hours. But look at what happens, guys, as we work our way towards Tuesday afternoon. This really has my eyes. It really does. This frame right here specifically, Tuesday, March the 10th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We have, I mean, almost excessive amounts of CAPE for this time of year. 2,200 joules per kilogram of surface-based CAPE in the dead center of Missouri here. This could be a slight overestimation. I wouldn't be surprised. Surface-based CAPE can be a little bit much sometimes. But this is just a measure of our instability. And if you have over 1,000 joules per kilogram, you are starting to get into the territory of running a higher severe risk here. And I mean, we have double that, more than double that in some of these areas. And if we have the wind energy to match, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a higher ceiling type of event. And this is right where that enhanced risk is. I want to mention that. And it's right here. So that's exactly why. But I mean, we even have notable amounts of CAPE down to the border. We have notable amounts of CAPE to the Carolinas, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi. Very expansive area here. And after that, I'll just kind of show you this. It does look like we kind of swat that instability out with some cold fronts. But this is getting into the 14th. Some instability works back in. Maybe Texas will be a highlight area for that. And honestly, to me, guys, I mean, for the rest of the run, nothing really shows up that has my eyes for something major, but we will run the risk many of these days for some sort of low ceiling severe threat in the southern tier of the country because there's just warm, moist Gulf air that's just sitting here. So let's move on here. I'm going to show you a few different graphics for totals here. Well, this is one of them. This is for our total amount of moisture, whether it falls as rain or sleet or snow or whatever. It's going to show up on this map. So all the way from Texas through the Great Lakes and up into Canada, we just have a corridor here of a lot of moisture to come over the next 10 to 12 days. And this is the National Blend of Models, pretty reliable thing to look at. There's a lot of moisture here, a lot of moisture to be had. Most of this, I'll say halfway through. So let's just draw a line. Most of this to the south is going to be rain. Most of this to the north is likely going to be snow or sleet or freezing rain or something like that. There's a lot of moisture here. And I'm not talking potential for extreme flooding or anything like that, but we will have the potential for just a lot of rain in the deep south. So let's discuss snow as well, because this is kind of a new topic of discussion, especially considering we're nearing the middle of March. I mean, it's insane we're already here. But I mean, this is what we got. National Blend of Models for the next about 10 or 12 days. Look at the northern plains here. I mean, there is many inches to be had in the Dakotas here, Minnesota, all the way over to the Great Lakes. And I want you guys to see, we have a notable signal down to northern Kansas with this. That tells me that some of these members of this ensemble are indicating that we could have some low riding snowstorms. And if you're taking a look a little bit closer at the east here, I mean, the northeast is just lit up with snow over the next 10 or 12 days. There's a lot to be had here. Foot and a half in areas of New York. As these clipper systems just make their way up there and drop some form of snow. And there's so many of them that it's not hard to come by snow in the northeast. But again, looking to the south here, along the Appalachian Mountains, kind of down to western North Carolina, far eastern Tennessee here, we have a notable signal. We have a notable signal down to the Virginia North Carolina border as well. And that's the consequence of having some of these members show something. And so it has my eyes. I mean, let's say you look at this run. If you show you the run before this, well, this was a notable tick to the north. I mean, this is it's a pretty 24-hour trend here. This dropped well to the south. So we'll have to see over the next couple runs what it does. But there's just very interesting signals showing up here. So moving on here, I'm going to show you guys our pattern a little bit, break it down for you. Again, time should be above my head here. So this is starting off tomorrow morning, and this is the European ensemble. Very reliable thing to look at. And what you're viewing here is whether we have troughing or ridging, which pretty much equals whether we have warm or cold air. Areas in red, like this, for example, this is exactly why we have so much warm air across many areas of the country, starting off tomorrow morning, because we have this ridge, and it is pretty much a reason that nothing forms in the sky. No clouds form, just a kind of a quiet day of weather. And with all of the orientations of this, that's why we have so much warm air. Areas of blue, like you see this one down here, that's a low pressure, a trough, that has colder air associated with it. And one thing that has my eyes is what's going on up here. All of this cold air kind of sitting here. So let's move on here. We'll look at temperatures themselves here in a second, but this is just our overall pattern. So you see that trough kind of ejects, makes its way into different areas of the country, kind of meets up with this northern stream energy. This is what causes between Tuesday and Thursday, we have a wide range here of some sort of larger storm system, right? Well, we get past that. And I want to note, and this is getting to the 12th and the 13th, this pattern right here, what it supports, you can follow these black lines and they point back up here, right? They point back up into the Arctic, up into Canada, which means that is our source region for all of this air. So you can kind of reverse those and point them back down here. That's where our air is going. So it's bringing this cooler Arctic air all the way down to the eastern seaboard. And we'll look at temperatures here in a second. We're starting to see a much stronger ridge flex over the west and even the central areas of the country. Like in here, we're seeing these signals show up. And so what this is doing is setting the stage for Arctic air to just spill down from kind of the central areas of the country points east. But let's get further out here, further into the mid and longer range. Well, this little piece of energy on the 16th through the 18th also has my eyes because it drops pretty far south on some runs. So this is just past a week out. I mean, this is Monday, pretty much exactly a week from now. And you can see that this trough kind of anchors. I mean, you look at this look right here. Let's dissect this a little bit. So what I'm seeing right here is we have a strong ridge out west. What this is doing is shunting all the flow up to its north. What this is doing is it's catching cooler air as it's spilling down from Canada, and it's bringing it into areas of the south and the east. So all of this is just spilling down this way. And what this is likely going to mean is that this entire area is just neutral or even below average to some degree. 222 hours out is not a quote-unquote reliable time frame, but ensemble guidance is good at this range typically, and that's why we show it. But moving past that, do we have that signal stay around? Well, let's just take it out to the end of the run. My answer to that question is not really. There are several little smaller shots of cold air that might work their way in, but at the end of the run here, getting out to the last week or so of March, we have a zonal flow, which means air parcels will get from the Pacific Ocean over here to the Atlantic without changing latitude much. Pretty much just going to go straight across the U.S. And this is generally a look that brings just neutral to even above average temperatures. We have a large ridge setting up here. But northern areas of the country, the Northeast, Northern Plains, Northern Rockies, Northwest, all of these areas could be running the risk for below average temperatures. So let's speak of those temperatures right now. Starting off tomorrow morning, you'll see areas of red. That means that we're above average. And the darker the red, or even technically the lighter, the bolder these colors are, the more above average you are. And the same works for the blue. Once you get into those purples, you're working with 10 to 15 degrees below average. And you'll see those. So starting off tomorrow morning, we have a lot of red. You'll see a lot of red. But you can see the northern areas of the country, we're fluctuating more. We have more of a range of both. More blues working their way in. And with this little smaller shot of cold air on the 13th, this brings us near neutral across the eastern seaboard. So it could even be refreshing. It's been quite warm across a lot of regions here. and it kind of anchors. I mean, it gets all the way from the Northeast down to southern Texas. 120 hours out. That's a pretty reliable time frame to me. But the real shot of cold air comes later. This is the 15th of March, and you can see these purples starting to work in. This is telling me that we have a more aggressive shot of cold air. And a few things of note here to me is that we have some sort of boundary. And this could mean that we're having some sort of low pressure. And it's kind of shooting across the country like this. And what it's doing is it's bringing up this Gulf air, and it's bringing down this Arctic air behind it. This could be setting stage for a big event on all sides. Severe weather to the south, snow to the north, all that good stuff. But this is getting out there. And I mean, do we have anything specific of note? Watch how expansive this cold air gets. I mean, like this look right here. This is a lot of cold air to be spilling down into the country for this time of year. I mean, from most of Canada here down through the Central Plains points east. Everywhere but Florida seems to be getting in on this. And this is bringing us to neutral to as much as maybe 10 degrees below average. That's not, guys, this is not what I'm talking. I'm not saying, let me get my words right. I'm not saying that this is going to bring us to freezing temperatures on the Gulf Coast. I'm not saying that, but at the same time, this might be a little bit surprising to some people. And I mean, if you're someone like me, I mean, I'm starting to plant some things outside. Just be wary of, we're not necessarily done with some surprisingly cold air to work in. I'll just put it that way. This is exactly 10 days out, and it seems to anchor itself on the I-95 corridor until we get past the 20th. Then we seem to be kind of neutral to above average in most areas. Again, this is the same thing here. Most of this ridge at the end of the run is right here. And so our flow is kind of going like this. So we have a ridge out west and slight troughing in the east. And what this is doing along the I-95 corridor, give or take 100 miles in both directions. I know it's a big range. That's bringing us to neutral to slightly below or above average, depending on exactly where you are. So we do have a pattern change between there. We could have cold air drop down. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. And we just have to figure out exactly where that is and who exactly is going to see it. So all of that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. I appreciate you tuning in with me. And if nothing else, I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.